Have you ever sat alone in your living room and suddenly wondered, how did life end up like this? Maybe it was the silence that hit you. No phone calls, no plans for the weekend, just a quiet house and a pile of old memories. Or maybe it was the moment you struggled to get out of bed, your knees aching in ways they didn't a year ago. These moments can sneak up on us. But what if I told you many of the struggles people face in their later years, loneliness, health issues, money problems, don't just happen with age? What if they actually stem from small, avoidable mistakes we make without even realizing it? As we grow older, life doesn't slow down the way we think it will. It changes. And those changes can either lead to a fulfilling, independent, joyful life, or one filled with regrets. The truth is, aging isn't what it used to be. Today, we have access to better healthcare, longer life expectancy, and more opportunities to stay active and engaged than any generation before us. But here's the catch. You have to make the right choices to enjoy it. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 of the most common mistakes seniors make. Mistakes that can quietly chip away at your happiness, health, and sense of purpose. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize they're making them until it's too late. Maybe you've started skipping your morning walks. Maybe you've stopped reaching out to friends. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm too old to learn that, or it's too late to change now. Trust me, you're not alone. But these habits, while small at first, can snowball into something much more serious over time. Chronic pain, depression, financial insecurity, and a deep feeling of disconnection from the world around you. But here's the good news. It's never too late to turn things around. Whether you're 60 or 85, this video will give you clear, practical insights into how to avoid the biggest pitfalls of aging and how to take back control of your future. You'll hear real-life stories, expert-backed advice, and simple steps that can make a powerful difference in how you live your life from this day forward. So if you want to age with confidence, protect your well-being, and build a life that still feels meaningful every single day, don't go anywhere. Stick with us until the end, because this just might be the video that changes everything. Let's get started with mistake number 1. 1. Neglecting your physical health. Let's be honest, taking care of your health gets harder with age. The energy you once had in your 40s or 50s doesn't always follow you into your 60s, 70s, or beyond. The joints ache a little more. Getting out for a walk might feel like a chore. Cooking a healthy meal? Sometimes it's just easier to grab something quick and processed. But here's the truth most people don't like to talk about. Neglecting your physical health is one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make as you get older. It doesn't usually happen all at once. It starts slowly. Maybe you skip a walk one day because your knee hurts. You order takeout a little more often because you're tired of grocery shopping. Then you forget to schedule your yearly checkup, telling yourself you'll get to it eventually. But all these little decisions, they add up. Your body is like a house. You have to maintain it, or eventually the roof starts to leak and the foundation begins to crack. As we age, our muscles naturally begin to shrink, our bones become more fragile, and our balance isn't as sharp as it used to be. But what many people don't realize is that a large portion of that decline isn't just aging, it's inactivity. Lack of movement leads to muscle loss, poor circulation, decreased flexibility, and a much higher risk of falls, one of the most dangerous threats to older adults. Did you know that in the United States, 1 in 4 adults over age 65 falls each year? And many of those falls lead to hospitalizations, long recovery periods, or even permanent disability. Let me tell you about Frank, a 73-year-old retired firefighter from Ohio. Frank used to be strong, active, always on the move. But after he retired, he started slowing down. He told himself he deserved to rest after a long career, and he absolutely did. But rest turned into routine. Morning walks became rare. He started spending more time in his recliner and less time on his feet. After about 6 months, Frank noticed something troubling. Getting up from the couch took effort. His legs felt shaky going up the stairs. And one afternoon, he lost his balance stepping off a curb and landed hard on the pavement. He didn't break anything, but the scare was enough. He said, "That fall woke me up. I realized I was letting myself go too soon." Frank started small, just a 10-minute walk after breakfast, some light stretching before bed. Then he added resistance bands to keep his muscles strong. Within a few months, his energy returned, and more importantly, his confidence came back. The same principle applies to nutrition. Many older adults assume that since they're eating less, nutrition isn't as important. But in reality, your body needs more of certain nutrients as you age, not less. You need more protein to preserve muscle, more calcium and vitamin D to maintain bone density, and plenty of fiber to support digestion and heart health. But instead, what do most people grab? Packaged snacks, microwave dinners, sugary drinks. These foods might be convenient, but they're often low in real nutrients and high in sodium, sugar, and unhealthy fats. And let's not forget about doctor visits. Too many people wait until something really hurts before picking up the phone. But that's a dangerous game. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, early signs of diabetes, and even osteoporosis can all go undetected for years until they become serious. By staying on top of your checkups, screenings, and blood work, you give yourself the best shot at catching issues early when they're much easier to manage. The bottom line, taking care of your body isn't about trying to look younger. It's about giving yourself the strength and stamina to keep living the life you love. To garden, travel, play with your grandkids, walk without fear of falling, and stay independent as long as possible. You don't need to join a gym or train like an athlete. Even 15 minutes of walking a day, lifting light weights, or doing simple chair exercises at home can dramatically improve your balance, strength, and mood. So ask yourself, when was the last time you did something good for your body just because it deserved it? If you're still with me and this is hitting home, comment 1 below to let me know you're taking your health seriously. And if you've already made a change that helped you feel better, share it. Your story might just inspire someone else. Now let's move on to mistake number 2. And this one is about something even more dangerous than poor health: isolation. 2. Isolating from friends and family. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you had a real conversation with someone who truly knows you? Not just a polite, "How are you?" at the store, but a genuine, soul-nourishing talk that made you feel seen. One of the quietest, most heartbreaking mistakes people make in their later years is withdrawing from the people who care about them. Sometimes it's intentional, other times it just happens gradually. You stop calling your old friends because you assume they're too busy. You skip the family gatherings because it feels like too much effort. You tell yourself they'll reach out if they really wanted to talk. But here's the truth. The more you wait, the more isolated you become, and the harder it gets to come back. Social isolation doesn't always look dramatic. It can look like turning on the TV instead of picking up the phone. It can look like canceling plans because you're just not feeling up to it today. But over time, this quiet withdrawal can lead to serious consequences: loneliness, depression, memory problems, and even a shorter lifespan. Yes, you heard that right. Studies have shown that social isolation can be just as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, weakens the immune system, and even raises the chances of developing dementia. Why? Because the brain, just like your muscles, needs stimulation. It needs connection, conversations, laughter, shared experiences. They keep the mind sharp and the heart full. Let me tell you the story of Elaine, a 76-year-old widow from North Carolina. After her husband passed away, she stopped going to church. She stopped attending her weekly knitting group. Even calls from her daughter became shorter, more infrequent. Elaine told herself she didn't want to be a burden. They're busy with their lives, she'd say. I don't want to get in the way. Weeks turned into months. She began spending most of her days alone, watching TV in silence. Her appetite dropped. She had trouble sleeping. And worst of all, she felt invisible. But one day she saw a flyer at the grocery store. Local book club, new members welcome. Something about it pulled at her. So she went, nervously, hesitantly, but that first meeting, it changed everything. She met people her age, shared stories, laughed, and remembered what it felt like to belong. Soon she was hosting brunch for her grandchildren again, calling her old college roommate, and even teaching a young neighbor how to crochet. Elaine says it was like coming back to life, and that's the point. Isolation isn't just about being alone. It's about losing your sense of connection, your sense of purpose. Humans are social beings. We were never meant to go through life, especially the later years, on our own. Some folks believe that once you're older, it's natural to be lonely. But that's just not true. In fact, staying socially connected is one of the strongest predictors of happiness and health in old age. Now, let's be real. Family can't always be there. Your kids and grandkids might be across the country. They have careers, their own families, responsibilities. And that's okay. That's why you need more than just family. You need friends, neighbors, a church group, a walking club, a weekly game night. The more points of connection you have, the richer your life becomes, and the less you'll feel forgotten when someone misses a call or skips a visit. And let's not forget about technology. I know it can feel overwhelming at first, but learning how to use video calls, text messages, or even a simple email can make a world of difference. You don't need to be a tech expert, you just need to be open. A FaceTime call from your granddaughter, a Facebook message from an old friend, or a quick photo from your son can turn a lonely afternoon into a joyful one. So here's your reminder. Reach out, make the call, say yes to the invitation. Join the group, knock on your neighbor's door. You have more people who care about you than you think, but connection takes effort, and it's worth every bit. If this message resonates with you, comment 2 down below so I know you're still here, still listening, and still ready to reconnect. And if you found a way to stay socially active in your own life, share it in the comments, because your story could be the encouragement someone else needs today. Coming up next, the third mistake might surprise you. It's not physical and it's not emotional, but it can quietly leave you behind if you're not paying attention. Let's talk about resisting change. 3, refusing to adapt to change. Let's face it, change is hard, especially when you've spent decades doing things a certain way. Maybe you grew up writing letters instead of emails. Maybe you memorized phone numbers instead of tapping a name on a screen. The world you knew has changed faster than anyone could have predicted, and that can feel overwhelming, frustrating, and even a little unfair. But here's the harsh truth. Refusing to adapt to change doesn't stop the world from changing. It just makes it harder to live in it. Many older adults fall into the trap of saying, "That's not for me," or "I don't need that new stuff," when it comes to technology, new ways of thinking, or even the way younger generations communicate. And while it might feel like a small act of pride or comfort, over time, resistance to change can lead to isolation, misunderstanding, and vulnerability. Let me introduce you to Mr. Harold, a 78-year-old Navy veteran from Arizona. Harold was the kind of man who still balanced his checkbook by hand, paid all his bills in person, and carried a flip phone that didn't even have texting. When his daughter gave him a smartphone for Christmas one year, he thanked her politely and then left it in the box for 6 months. He said, "I don't need all that. I've done just fine without it." But slowly, Harold began to notice the gaps. His grandkids were sharing photos in group chats. He never saw them. His doctor's office started using an online portal for appointments and prescriptions. The post office line grew longer while his neighbors were paying bills from their kitchen table. Worst of all, he missed a scam alert that came by email because he didn't use it. and ended up giving personal information to a stranger over the phone. Finally, after some gentle nudging, he sat down with his granddaughter, who patiently showed him how to use the phone, how to video chat, check the weather, look up directions, and even shop for groceries online. Within a few weeks, Harold wasn't just catching up, he was staying connected. Now he says, "I still love my morning newspaper and my pen and paper, but I'm not afraid of this new stuff anymore. It actually makes life easier." And that's the key. Adapting to change doesn't mean giving up your values. It means gaining the tools to stay connected, informed, and independent. Technology is just one part of it. Change also shows up in the way we eat, the way we care for our health, the way families function, and the way society operates. Holding on to old ways for the sake of comfort can sometimes block us from progress, especially when it comes to safety, communication, and personal growth. Some folks resist change because they're afraid of being embarrassed. They don't want to look foolish learning something new at their age. But the truth is, there's nothing braver than learning. You're never too old to grow, to adapt, or to surprise yourself. Other times, the resistance comes from grief. You miss the world you once knew. The slower pace, the values, the conversations. That's understandable. But holding on to a version of the world that no longer exists can make the present feel more painful than it needs to be. You can honor the past and still move forward. The two are not in conflict. And here's something important. When you adapt, you also stay protected. Scammers prey on those who don't understand technology. Hackers target the unprepared. Seniors who refuse to learn how things work online that are more likely to fall victim to fraud. Knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. So if you've been telling yourself, "I just can't keep up," I encourage you to flip that narrative. Start small. Learn one new thing this week. Ask your grandchild to show you how to video call. Watch a short tutorial on YouTube about online safety. Sign up for a class at your local library or community center. Every little step builds confidence. And remember, adaptability isn't about age, it's about attitude. If this section made you pause and think, drop a 3 in the comments to let us know you're open to growth. If you've had a breakthrough with technology or change in your own life, share it. We're listening. Coming up next, we're diving into a mistake that can quietly destroy your peace of mind and dignity: mismanaging your finances. This one is a silent trap, and it's more common than you think. Stay with us. 4. Mismanaging your finances. Imagine this. You've spent your whole life working hard, saving what you could, looking forward to retirement. You finally get there, and for a while it feels like freedom. No more alarm clocks, no more stressful commutes. Just you, your time, and your well-earned savings. But then one day you wake up and realize the money is running out. This is one of the most devastating and sadly most common mistakes older adults make: mismanaging their finances in retirement. It's easy to assume that once you stop working, money matters less. After all, you've already put in the work, paid your dues, and hopefully set aside a comfortable nest egg. But here's the reality. Retirement isn't the end of financial planning. It's the beginning of a new phase of it. Let me introduce you to Mr. Lawrence, a 71-year-old retired engineer from Missouri. When he first retired, Lawrence was in a great place financially. His house was paid off, he had a healthy 401k, and his pension checks gave him enough to live comfortably. So he did what many retirees dream of. He splurged. Cruises with his wife, generous gifts for the grandkids, dinners out 3 or 4 times a week. He said yes to everything. He told himself, "I've earned this. I don't want to live like I'm poor when I've worked this hard." But a few years in, things changed. His wife developed health issues that required expensive treatments. His roof needed repairs. Inflation crept up. Groceries, gas, utilities, all went higher than he expected. Suddenly, Lawrence was dipping into his savings just to cover basic costs. By the time he turned 76, he had to ask his daughter for help covering medical bills. And just like that, his independence began to slip away. Here's the painful truth. Many retirees underestimate how long they'll live and how much they'll need for healthcare, long-term care, and the rising cost of living. According to Fidelity, the average retired couple in the U.S. may need over $300,000 just for health expenses alone throughout retirement. And that's not including emergencies, home repairs, or inflation. And it's not just overspending that causes trouble. A lot of seniors fall behind simply because they stop managing their money altogether. They think budgeting is something you do when you're young and broke, not when you're older and settled. But the reality is, without a clear plan, even a solid retirement fund can disappear faster than you think. Another hidden danger? Scams. Seniors are one of the top targets for financial fraud in the U.S. Whether it's a phone call from someone pretending to be your grandson, an email saying you've won a prize, or a fake Medicare representative asking for your Social Security number, scammers know how to play on trust. And many people lose thousands, even their life savings, to these manipulative schemes. That's why it's so important to stay informed, stay skeptical, and always double-check. Don't give out personal information over the phone. Don't send money to someone you haven't met in person. And when in doubt, call a trusted family member before taking action. So what can you do to avoid this mistake? Make a simple budget. Track how much is coming in from Social Security, pensions, or investments, and how much is going out. Include things like medications, insurance, food, and any just-in-case savings for emergencies. Plan for long-term care. Look into insurance options, talk to your doctor, and think ahead. If you end up needing home care or assisted living one day, will you be prepared? Talk to someone you trust. This might be a financial advisor, a family member, or a lawyer who specializes in elder care. Having a second set of eyes on major decisions can protect you from mistakes or scams you might not catch on your own. Keep learning. There are community centers, libraries, and online resources specifically designed to help older adults stay financially literate. Knowledge is power and peace of mind. The good news? It's never too late to get back on track. Even small changes like cutting down on unnecessary subscriptions, eating out less, or reviewing your insurance policies can help stretch your resources and bring you greater confidence. Because at the end of the day, managing your money well isn't about being cheap. It's about protecting your freedom, your dignity, and your ability to live life on your terms. If this resonated with you, comment 4 below to let us know you're serious about financial independence. And if you have a tip or lesson you have learned the hard way, share it. You never know who might benefit from your story. Next up is a mistake that doesn't involve your wallet or your body, but your soul. Let's talk about something we all need, no matter our age. Purpose. 5. Ignoring mental growth and losing your sense of purpose. Let me ask you a question that goes deeper than money or health. When was the last time you felt truly excited to wake up in the morning? For many older adults, the answer is, I don't remember. It's one of the quietest mistakes people make in their later years, giving up on mental growth and letting go of a sense of purpose. After retirement, after the kids are grown, after the calendar starts looking a little emptier, it's easy to fall into the mindset that your best years are behind you, that your time to learn, grow, and contribute is over. But here's the truth. As long as you're still breathing, your life still has meaning. Waiting doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you have the freedom to grow in ways you never had time for before. But if you don't actively nurture that inner spark, it fades. And when it does, depression, loneliness, and cognitive decline start creeping in. You see, the brain is a muscle. If you stop using it, it weakens. If you stop learning, stop engaging, stop challenging yourself, your mind begins to slow down. That's not just aging, that's inactivity. But the opposite is also true. When you give your brain something to chew on, whether it's a puzzle, a book, a new skill, or even a new hobby, you keep it strong, alive, and sharp. Let me tell you the story of Marianne, a 70-year-old retired school librarian from Minnesota. After retiring, Marianne felt lost. Her daily structure disappeared. Her friends were still working. Her kids were busy. She watched TV most of the day and started forgetting things. Not major things, but little things that used to come easy. She said, "I didn't feel like me anymore. I felt like I was just drifting." Then one day she walked past a local community center and saw a flyer. Intro to watercolor painting. Beginner's welcome. Age 60 plus. She'd never painted a thing in her life, but something about it sparked a curiosity. So she signed up. At first she struggled. The brush didn't feel natural, the colors didn't blend the way she imagined. But she stuck with it. And within a few weeks, something began to change, not just on the canvas, but inside her. She started looking forward to class. She made friends. She felt proud again. Her memory improved. Her energy came back. And for the first time in years, she felt like she had a reason to get out of bed in the morning. She told us, "I didn't just discover a new hobby, I rediscovered myself." That's the power of purpose. It doesn't have to be big. You don't need to change the world, but you do need something that makes you feel needed, curious, and alive. It could be volunteering at a local shelter, mentoring younger generations, gardening, writing, painting, or woodworking, taking a class online or in person, joining a book club or faith-based study group, even starting a small side hustle or project. The what doesn't matter nearly as much as the why. And the why is this: purpose keeps you alive, not just biologically, but spiritually. Without it, days blur together. Your mood drops. Your brain slows down. But with it, you wake up feeling like you matter. Like your presence in the world still makes a difference. And if you're thinking, "It's too late for me to start something new," let me be clear, that's simply not true. People have learned to play instruments at 80, started new careers at 70, written best-selling books at 65. Your age does not disqualify you from growth. It qualifies you with wisdom, experience, and a lifetime of stories to share. If this message speaks to you, comment 5 below to let us know you're ready to reignite your sense of purpose. And if you found something that gives your life meaning, big or small, share it in the comments. Someone out there might be waiting for exactly that kind of inspiration. Now that we've gone through these 5 powerful lessons, don't go anywhere. In the next section, we're going to reflect on what it all means and how you can take these insights and turn them into action. Because the goal isn't just to avoid mistakes, it's to build a life worth waking up to. Getting older isn't just about adding more candles to the cake. It's about making those years count. Yes, our bodies change, our routines shift, and sometimes the world feels like it's moving too fast. But within every new season of life lies an opportunity to reconnect, to rediscover, to rebuild. Whether it's choosing to take a 15-minute walk each morning, reaching out to an old friend, learning how to make a video call, reviewing your finances, or picking up a paintbrush for the first time in years, these small steps can lead to big transformations. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to decide today that your later years deserve just as much care, purpose, and joy as any other stage of life. So no matter where you are right now, please remember this. It's never too late to choose growth. It's never too late to feel alive. And it's never too late to start living well, not just longer. If this video spoke to you in any way, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one small change you're planning to make, whether it's for your health, your relationships, your mindset, or your finances. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If you found value in this video, please give it a like. It helps us reach more people like you who deserve to live their best years with dignity and joy. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you never miss a video filled with wisdom, support, and inspiration for this amazing chapter of life. From our hearts to yours, thank you for being here. You are not alone, and the best may still be ahead. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay curious, stay connected, and most of all, stay hopeful.